Good afternoon. It's good to see y'all. Welcome to the block grant hearings. The legislative public hearing on block grants is hereby called to order. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Representative Katie Dempsey. I represent the people of District 13, and sitting on the podium with me is Senator Dr. Kay Kirkpatrick, representing the people of District 32. Amber Mack, representing the House Budget Research Office, and Caitlin Little, representing the Senate Budget and Evaluation Office. Rashad Jackson, Budget Director for the Department of Human Services, and Chris Hamilton, Chief Financial Officer for the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities, are with us as well. Before we get started, is there anyone who requires sign language interpreter services? If you would raise your hand if you do, so we can position our interpreter appropriately. Well, I don't see anyone. I think we're okay. If you wish to continue, you can, but if you would like to, thank you for your offer. Thank you for attending today's block grant hearing. The purpose of the hearing is to receive public comments on the use of 5 human services block grants that Georgia receives from the federal government. The hearing also provides the members of the Georgia legislature the opportunity to listen to the views of private citizens and other interested parties on how block grant funds should be used for state fiscal year 2025, which will begin on July 1, 2024. These block grants are Community Mental Health Block Grant, Community Services Block Grant, Low Income Home Energy Assistance Block Grant, Social Services Block Grant, and Substance Abuse Prevention and Treatment Block Grant. Public input is an important aspect of the deliberative process that the Georgia legislature undertakes in making decisions about the state's budget. Thank you for taking the time to participate in the process. At this time, Rashad Jackson will provide a brief summary of the grants and explain how we will proceed. Please welcome Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Representative Katie Dempsey. As Representative Dempsey has stated, the Department of Human Services, better known as DHS, will receive public comments on 3 federal block grants today. By federal law, Georgia is required to hold public hearings on these grants. These 3 grants are the Community Services Block Grant, Low Income Energy Assistance Block Grant, and the Social Services Block Grant. At this time, I will give you a brief overview of each grant. The Community Services Block Grant provides funds for financial services and activities that impact the cause of poverty and to assist low-income participants. These funds are distributed to local agencies through the state and fund a wide range of services, including employment, education, meals and nutrition services, and housing services. The Low Income Energy Assistance Block Grant provides cash assistance to qualified low-income households for home energy costs, weatherization costs such as installation, caulking, and weather stripping to reduce energy consumption for energy crisis intervention. Finally, the Social Services Block Grant funds various services such as daycare services for children and adults, persons with mental retardation, home-delivered meals, homemaker services, transportation, and protective services for adults and children. This grant also assists families to achieve and or maintain economic self-support and self-sufficiency. At this time, Chris Hamilton, the Chief Financial Officer of the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities, will provide a list and brief summary of his agency's grants. Chris?
Thank you, Rashad. The Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities will receive public comments on 2 federal block grants today. These 2 grants are the Community Mental Health Services Block Grant and the Substance Abuse Prevention and Treatment Block Grant. Here is a brief overview of these grants. The Community Mental Health Services Block Grant implements the provisions of the Mental Health State Plan by providing services to individuals with a serious mental illness and to children with a serious emotional disturbance. The Substance Abuse Prevention and Treatment Block Grant provides funds for community-based alcohol and drug treatment, prevention, and early intervention programs. Thank you. Now I turn things back over to Rashad to continue the proceedings.
Thanks, Chris. More details about each of these grants, including the type of programs that can be funded through their proposed funding services, are included in the color-coded pamphlets that are available on the table. There are separate pamphlets for each grant. Before reviewing your comments, let me go over a few ground rules. We will take speakers in the order in which they signed up to speak. If you have not signed up yet, you may also do so at the table outside. Please give us your name and the name of your organization that you represent. If there are more than one representative here from the same organization, please only choose one individual to speak. By doing this, we will ensure each organization and citizen gets their fair chance. You will be given 5 minutes in which to present your comments. There is a timekeeper who will let you know when you have 1 minute left. I will initially call 2 speakers to the podium at one time. As the first person is speaking, the next speaker should be making his or her way to the podium. Then, as I call your name, please make your way to the podium. If you have written comments for the record or a copy of your speech, please place these on the table at the end of the meeting. Now let's begin. If there are anyone willing to speak, please approach the podium and give us your name and the name of your organization. Well, as there are no speakers, I'd like to thank each of you for attending today's hearing. And would each member of the panel like to speak?
Yes, I want to thank you for sure for being here and for helping us in this process. Chairman Kirkpatrick, would you like to say a few words?
I just want to thank everyone for being here, and these are very important grants to help us move our state forward, and appreciate the attendees.
Thank you.
I join you in that gratitude. I know this looks like it isn't a very big and complicated with a lot of people talking, but these are very important measures that work in each of our communities in many ways. So thank y'all for participating today, for being here, for looking out for your people when you go home. You can certainly brag on the fact that you stuck around the Capitol today, and we're here as well. And I thank y'all for administering these grants too.
Thank you. Our pleasure. I will now turn the meeting back over to Representative Dempsey.
And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you. Y'all have a good weekend.